With Gene Washington, Jay Randolph. Halftime at the Kingdome, your halftime statistics, and a pretty even ball game. The Seahawks are leading at 10-3. The difference being a 3-yard touchdown romp by quarterback Jim Zorn on the bootleg. That came at 5:44 of the second period.
But, Jay, look at the difference in net yards passing. The Raiders only 34. Seahawks 110. Mark Wilson obviously is going to have some problems being a young quarterback. He had a couple of situations at the end of that first half, throwing that interception. As you mentioned before, they should have come away with some points at that spot, if nothing other than the field goal.
There's the cast on the left arm of Chris Barr. Barr had that broken arm against Miami. Barr is now, of course, with these Raiders, and Jim Breach doing the kicking for the high-flying Cincinnati club. Back to receive, Horace Ivory and Eric Lane. It's Lane nearest the camera, number 37. Ivory, number 32. So it is 10 for the Seahawks, 3 for the Raiders. Here we go to the second half. Hope you'll enjoy it wherever you are this afternoon. And Horace Ivory downs it in the end zone. It'll come to the 20-yard line, and the Raiders will start from there. Or Seattle will start from there, I should say. The Seahawks with Jim Zorn, the 60-year man from Cal Poly, Brown and Dornick. McCullum, he had a good first half. Largent and Sawyer. Essick, Bailey, Yarno, Newton, and August. First down from the 20-yard line. Largent stepped in motion left, came back to the right side. Theodis Brown stopped right along the line of scrimmage. John Matuzak, 72, and Rod Martin, 53, on the tackle. Take a look at this Raider defense. The Raiders ranking 4th on defense, 8th against the rush, 12th against the pass. They're their talented group of linebackers and defensive backs. Second down and 10 at the 20-yard line. David Hughes joining Theodis Brown now in the backfield. Hughes 46, Brown number 30. And they've got a full house, but then they have a problem as McCullum was in there and he went in motion. And a timeout was called by Zorn to talk things over. Some problem. Zorn in the first half, 8 out of 14 for 110 yards. Brown had 34 yards on 10 carries. We're going to have a timeout with just a little less than a minute played in this third quarter. 10-3, the Seahawks lead the Raiders. Closing. There's Jack Patera. Played high school ball in Portland, Oregon at Washington High School. His club leading 10-3. Second down and 10 at the 20. Now they're in that full house again. McCullum in the middle, going in motion. And Zorn to put it up. And the throw to Dornick. First down out at the 42-yard line. Rod Martin, number 53, on the tackle, a 23-yard pickup. First time we've seen this formation this afternoon.
Well, it is. Rod Martin has good speed, but they simply fool him. Dornick, who's not as fast as Rod Martin, comes on the inside after McCullum goes in motion from that 2 tight end slot, takes all of the defensive backs deep down the middle, get the football out to Dornick. And before we said, not an impressive-looking athlete, doesn't have great speed or great size, Dan Dornick, but he always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
3 catches for 28 yards. Coach Patera, Jerry Rome, and Howard Mudd and all the group, they're liable to try anything. Here, now this time, offside on the extra tight end in there, Mike Tice. The former quarterback at Maryland jumped off on the right side. That time, in the middle of the full house, they had Largent going in motion.
Maybe they're bringing in plays from the sidelines. McCullum coming in, alternating with Largent. As you said, they put him in that full house, and what that allows him to do is to go in motion to either side, and they can change the strength of the formation.
Let's see if Gordon McCarter's microphone has been fixed here at halftime.
Encroachment, number 81, offense, still first down.
All right, there you are. Gordon McCarter now communicating with all of us.
Right call, but wrong man. It was 86.
86. First and 15 at the 37-yard line. The Seahawks lead at 10-3. We're in the third quarter. Zorn goes for McCollum, and McCollum has a first down at the 46-yard line. Made the catch in front of Burgess Owens.
Makes a great catch. McCollum goes down. Zorn's dropping back. Sees him coming open, breaking in the middle of that zone. Look at this catch. He went up really high, pulled that ball down. When a receiver gets in that position, he's around a lot of guys in the zone. You know you're going to take some punishment. But he forgot about it and went up and made a great catch. The guys on the sidelines congratulate him. Very intelligent football player, Sam McCollum.
That's where the concentration counts. Zorn is 10 of 16 for 149 yards. Largent comes to the near side. Theodis Brown breaks over the left side and gets to the 43-yard line. A flag thrown in there as Johnny Robinson, number 68, made the tackle. Robinson has really impressed me. He's got a chance, I think, to make the all-rookie team in the middle.
The early indication of this that it's holding against Seattle. The official that threw that flag was back in the secondary. Of course, he may have had a better angle. Maybe it was the tackle or the tight end on that side.
Ball goes back to the 43. Let's listen.
Holding, number 86, offense, still first down.
Call goes against Mike Tice, the tight end. It is 10-3 here, Seattle. San Diego at half by 17 over Denver. Chuck Muncie, his 18th touchdown of the year, late in the second period. Atlanta in the lead over Houston. On first and 20, they set up a screen out to Theodis, and he's at midfield at the 45, still going at the 40. Got a block. Theodis Brown at the 20, at the 10, and out of bounds at the 5-yard line. What a splendid effort. 51 yards for Theodis Brown, and Burgess Owens came over to save the touchdown. What a play.
The fans here in Seattle love it. Theodis turned on the speed. The Raiders drop back into a zone defense. Their linebackers are deep. Zorn does a good job of pulling the defensive lineman up, gets a screen out here. Now watch these blocks. He gets some great blocks. There's a little clip. Gets a block from Largent there. Now he's going to outrun number 68, Johnny Robinson. There's Robinson. And as you mentioned before, Burgess Owens comes up and saves the touchdown.
Into the game for the Raiders. Number 75, Howard Long, the rookie from Villanova. There's Theodis sitting it out. Handoff goes in to Sherman Smith. Smith in there, number 47, a 6-year man from Miami of Ohio. Another fellow was a quarterback in college. Smith with 221 yards and a 3.2 rushing average coming into today's play. San Francisco, what a job they've done. 14-3. Johnny Davis scored for San Francisco. And then Joe Montana ran in for 20 yards. Danilo has the field goal for the Giants. Second down. Goal to go at the 3. Banging in there is Smith. Touchdown! The 4th touchdown of the season for Sherman Smith. And Seattle takes another giant step toward victory here.
They look awfully good. Sherman Smith is going to run behind Edwin Bailey and Ron Essig on the left side of that line. They blow the Raiders back. Smith, who's a big guy. As a matter of fact, some people say that he would be a good tight end prospect because he has the height to go along with his strength. Gets down underneath and just sort of scrambles past the goal line for the touchdown.
Wilson Alvarez, the Bolivian booter, replacing Efren Herrera. Put it up, penalty marker down. We'll see what the discussion is all about.
Side, defense, the try for point was good. The penalty carries over to the kickoff.
Well, you heard the explanation from referee Gordon McCarter, who is an industrial sales representative. You see some of this crowd as the Seahawks have gone out now to a 17-3 advantage with 12:13 left to go in the third quarter.
What a difference Otis Brown has made to this Seahawk ball club.
We mentioned that right at the top of the show. And let's mention that on Saturday, Sports World brings you two undefeated heavyweights. Tim Witherspoon, they call him terrible. Alfonso Ratliff. They'll battle it out, a live 10-rounder from Atlantic City. Plus the champions of the East meet the champions of the West in the U.S.-China women's dual gymnastics meet. That's all Saturday on NBC Sports World. Getting set to kick off, Alvarez to Malcolm Barnwell, number 80, and Arthur Whittington, number 22. Barnwell on the right.
Jay, the Raiders in the third quarter have only scored 20 points, which is the lowest output in the third quarter of any team in the league. They're going to have to change things around here.
Whittington is at the 10, the 15. Lost the football. And
touchdown. From Alabama State. You can see the helmet hitting right on the football, pops loose.
Rodell Thomas came from the Miami Dolphins, a free agent. He was a tight end in college. Wilson Alvarez puts it up. And with 12 minutes left to play in the third quarter, the Seattle Seahawks 24, the Oakland Raiders 3. 2 touchdowns in 13 seconds.
You see number 86, the ex-quarterback Mike Tice puts his helmet in there and knocks the ball away. When it rains, it pours. Everything's going the way of the Seahawks.
And I don't have to look in the book. I can tell you that's Rodell Thomas's first touchdown in the NFL. Tom Flores got to be a little perturbed at the proceedings. The kickoff coming down, and that is Kenny Hill on the return at the 20 to the 25, falls forward at the 27-yard line. Turnovers, of course, play a tremendous part in this game. Gene, look here.
Well, it's an indication of how teams are playing. What this means is that, for example, Dallas, they're plus 15. That means that they have taken the ball away from the opposition 15 times more than they have turned it over. And look at the teams who are on the top. Dallas, Cincinnati, San Francisco. Now let's take a look at the teams who are not doing so well on the bottom. New England, minus 13. Houston, minus 11. Oakland coming into today's game, minus 9.
A statistic that shows great importance. Handoff to Kenny King, another fumble. We'll wait till they unravel. Seattle seems to think they own the football. They do. Kenny King coughed it up. In underneath the pile, coming out of there, number 74, Manu Tuiasosopo, and a dejected Tom Flores. There's Tuiasosopo, the big Samoan. A Well, we had 2 touchdowns in 13 seconds. We might have 3 here in a period of about 30. And Zorn, using play action and rolling, cuts back against the grain. Going long and incomplete as he intended for Largent. Excellent coverage that time by Lester Hayes, the cornerback. And Hayes is shaken up.
Hayes did a super job in coverage. Zorn rolling out, taking lots of time as we watched Lester. I think he just had the wind knocked out of him. He allowed Largent to run downfield about 18 yards, come back, then reverse his field and take off long again. But Lester Hayes was right with him step for step. I thought he was going to come up with his interception. Coming off the field, it may be his shoulder. You can see that Lester Hayes is in great shape. Only has 2 interceptions this year. Last year led the league, I believe, with maybe 18 or so, but only 2 interceptions so far this year. How do you like that?
Ooh. Trying to pull him back together, you might say, huh? 2nd down and 10 at the 29 for Seattle, leading 24-3. And another turnover has given them the ball. Zorn, 11 of 18. Pitch back to Theodis Brown. Brown following the block of Ron Essing, the second-year man from little Grand Valley State of Michigan. Randy McClanahan, 57, and Johnny Robinson, 68, on the tackle. Again, Gene, I want to say that Robinson, of course, the rookie, is learning out of Louisiana Tech, but he is a very impressive-looking youngster in there at middle linebacker. Dornick coming back in along with Mike Tice. McCullum goes out. 3rd and 5 at the 24. Hayes is back in the lineup. There's Robinson. Number 4 draft pick. Has 5 sacks this season. Dornick and Theodis Brown. And in motion, that's Largent. Zorn throwing for Dornick. Oh, he couldn't quite get there. That's the same play except on the other side that they worked earlier.
Same exact play, almost the same result. The only difference is, as you'll see this time, Zorn gets some pressure and has to release the ball a little sooner, a fraction of a second before he wants to. You can see Chad Hendricks coming in, putting the pressure on. He has to throw the ball a fraction before he wants to. Dornick was wide open. He couldn't get the ball to him.
What they're doing there is isolating the receiver one-on-one with the linebacker, that time Matt Millen. Field goal try for Alvarez at the 32, a 42-yard attempt. It's long enough, wide to the right. 11 minutes, 21 seconds remaining to be played in the 3rd quarter. The Seahawks have come up with 14 big points to lead it 24-3. There's the score in the Kingdome. Seattle dominating Oakland. Gene Washington, the pride and poise boys from Oakland, have not had a losing season since 1964 when they were 5-7-2.
As I said before, when it rains, it pours. You all know it rains a lot here in Seattle, in the Emerald City, right?
Not raining in here. Zorn, or check that. That is not Zorn, of course, but Wilson off to Kenny King. Looking at Zorn's statistics, he's having a very fine game. Beeson and Jackson on the tackle. Beeson playing for Joe Norman today. Norman out with a knee. And Joe, we hope you're getting along well. I know you're watching this afternoon. There is Zorn, and this young man, you know, was much maligned in the early going this season. He's 11 of 19 and had an excellent afternoon.
But again, we can't overemphasize the importance of having Theodis Brown to take some of the pressure off the passer.
Mark Wilson, and incomplete. Kenny King. And King getting into it with Michael Jackson over there. Jackson has been on his muscle throughout the afternoon.
That was not Jackson's fault. Kenny King was frustrated because the ball was thrown poorly, quite frankly, thrown behind him. Jackson was going over. He could have delivered a blow, but he held up. You'll see Michael Jackson go over, and he sees that Kenny King has not had the football, and you'll see he holds up. So he could deliver a blow right there. King is frustrated, as I'm sure a lot of the Raiders are. But Michael Jackson's not going to take anything, particularly when your team's out in front. You don't have to, right?
3rd down and 8. Mark Wilson. A lot of time. Throws, complete to Branch. Branch down at the 40-yard line. That is the 3rd catch of the afternoon for Branch, and he is 1 away from 400. Mark Wilson played at Shorecrest High School. He's from nearby Bremerton, Washington. Under a lot of pressure this afternoon.
Getting the ball out here to Cliff Branch, who's just an outstanding receiver. Hadn't had a lot of passes thrown to him, as I mentioned before. Only 1 touchdown so far this year. But what a player he has been for the Oakland Raiders. The play action.
And Branch, he had number 400 right in his hands. You won't see that happen very often, but, well, when things go sour, as you mentioned, Gene, that's the way it goes. Branch has 3 catches for 38 yards.
That one hit him right in the hands, went from his hands to the bread basket, then to the AstroTurf.
10 minutes and 26 seconds remaining to be played. We are in the 3rd quarter, and the Seahawks are leading the Raiders 24-3. The Raiders, Super Bowl 15 champions. 5-7 their record. Wilson gets it out to the far sideline to Ramsey, the tight end. Ramsey still on his feet. Fine effort by Derek Ramsey, the 4-year man from Kentucky. He's a fellow who has developed very fast. Kerry Justin playing the left corner. Justin, number 26 on the tackle.
Well, Derek Ramsey playing ahead of Ray Chester. Gets out into the right flat. The Seahawks are in the zone. You'll see he makes a good move right here, number 55, Michael Jackson. Little sidestep. Gets about another 10 yards out of that.
Ramsey scored on a 66-yarder last week, the longest reception for a touchdown this year for the Oakland Raiders. A 25-yard pickup there. Coming out of the game for Oakland, big number 70, Henry Lawrence. And it appears that maybe it's an equipment problem. It is.
Bruce Davis is going to go in as his replacement.
Davis is a 3rd-year man from UCLA, improving a great deal, we're told. A number 11 draft pick. And they're going to attend to Henry Lawrence, the big guy from Florida A&M. Wilson has completed 10 of 19 for 103 yards in this game. He's thrown an interception. Branch, along with Chandler, both set to the left side. 1st and 10 at the 35. Handoff to Whittington. Whittington inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Wrapped up by Michael Jackson, number 55, and Kerry Justin also over there. Let's pause briefly now for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is KING-TV, Channel 5, Seattle.
With Gene Washington, Jay Randolph at the Kingdome, 24-3, Seattle. On 2nd and 3. Wilson again with a lot of time. Out it goes to Jensen, and he dropped it. The Oakland Raiders are having a rough afternoon, especially when it comes to concentration on catching those passes.
Take a look at number 21, Cliff Branch, as he runs down in that zone defense. Gets over here. It appears as though he's wide open, but what's happened is those defenders, they're in their zone. They're reading the quarterback. They saw Wilson deliver the football out into the flat to Derek Jensen, and as you said, it appears as though maybe the problem is concentration. Sometimes you get a little over-anxious trying to make up for things. In this situation, maybe he was trying to run before he caught the football. Nevertheless, he missed it. They can't afford to do that.
Keith Simpson out with an ankle injury, probably won't return. On 3rd and 3, Wilson goes down. Jacob Green on the sack. Green had some help. Tuiasa Sopo came around, and Green, who made the all-rookie team number 1 draft choice, sacks that man right there.
Jacob Green comes in and makes the sack, but give credit to this play to a fellow we won't see in the picture, number 22, Dave Brown from the Seahawks, because Mark Wilson was trying to get the ball to Cliff Branch, who was going to come underneath. But Dave Brown completely shut him down, didn't let Branch get underneath. Wilson had no place to go, but he didn't throw the football away.
the third sack of the afternoon for the Seattle Seahawks. Ray Guy to do the punting. Johns is back to receive. Guy got a short, wobbly kick away that is going out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Oh, that turned out to be a dandy. By design, ball out at the 3-yard line. That's where Seattle will have it. 8:21 left in the third quarter. 24-3, Seahawks. First and 10 coming up at the 3-yard line for the Seattle Seahawks, who lead at 24-3. And off to Dornick. Dornick is near the 5-yard line. Big guy bumped down by Randy McClanahan, number 57.
The Raiders want to get back in the ball game. This is the best chance they have to try to get something going. The defense needs to shut Seattle down right here. If they do that, they can get the football in good field position. If they allow Seattle to come out of their own end zone, get downfield, maybe Katie Bar to go in.
Tice is in with Sawyer, double tight end alignment. Largent comes in motion. The Otis Brown is pulled down. Lost the football. Let's see, they're going to call the play dead at the 1-yard line. McClanahan in there to force it. Well, that was very nearly a safety and very nearly a touchdown for the Raiders.
Well, you'll see number 57, big Randy McClanahan. He's 6'5", 225 pounds. He breaks through there, grabs Otis Brown by the collar, and pulls him down. And that's a close call. It looked as though he was in the end zone.
A whistle had blown, apparently. Third down and 12. And the Seahawks are running out of real estate. The Otis Brown to the 2-yard line. And the specialty units come on. A very big punt coming up for Jeff West. The Otis Brown was rammed down at the 2-yard line. Ted Watts goes back to receive the punt, and West got it away. Now a whistle. He was outside the end zone. Oh! Standing on the white line, a safety. A safety will be called here. A mistake by the punter, Jeff West. He received the ball out of bounds.
The punter stepped on the end line when he had possession of the football. That's out of bounds. Play is a safety. 2 points. Kick up from the 20.
The Seahawks head coach, Jack Patera, will now have to watch his team kick off. Now watch West in the left of your screen. He's got that back foot on the line.
He's standing there, already on the line.
He can stand there, but he can't receive it there. Once that ball is in his hands, if he's there, he's got a problem. 24-5. The Seahawks over the Raiders. Back with more in a moment. Well, here's the play that caused the safety a moment ago. Jeff West on the end line. 2 points, and now it will be West to put it in play. And a bad short punt. And it is taken at the 40-yard line. And coming back with it is Todd Christensen. And the Oakland Raiders have very excellent position once again. They're going to get it at the Seattle 45-yard line. Terry Beeson made the tackle. Todd Christensen out of Brigham Young, who is a very versatile performer. He can play in the backfield for you. He can play tight end. He can punt if he has to. He's from Sheldon High School, Eugene, Oregon.
Well, I mentioned before that if the Raiders could hold, they would get the ball in good field position. They've done that, but they've also got themselves 2 points on that safety. So if they can get a good drive here, they can get back in the football game.
We've got an eternity to play. 6:13 left in the third quarter. And Mark Wilson trying to rally his club. Gets it out. That's Derek Ramsey. And Ramsey has a first down. Ramsey's been in the clear a couple of times and made big plays when his quarterback was able to get it to him.
Well, for the second time, Derek Ramsey makes number 55, Michael Jackson, miss. Wilson drops back. Seattle's in his zone defense, gets the ball out. Watch this. There's 55, who's a good player, makes him fall down. Derek Ramsey, 4 receptions, 122 yards.
Kerry Justin, playing at the left corner position, made the play. First and 10 at the 32-yard line. Wilson, out it comes. Hawkins inside the 25-yard line. They're using the short pass to the flat very effectively now. The tackle made by Michael Jackson, number 55. The clock running with 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Seahawks led 10-3 at halftime. Are up 24-5 right now here in the third quarter. Chandler and Branch to the left side. Up the middle, Frank Hawkins to the 20 and inside the 20 at the 19. Stalled there by Keith Butler, number 53. A first down.
There's Terry Beeson in the middle, who's playing for the injured Joe Norman. And one of the things that Beeson does best is he plays the run very well. A lot of people say it looks like Dick Butkus. He's got a lot of size, a lot of strength. His only drawback, though, is he isn't quite as fleet of foot as Joe Norman. He doesn't cover the pass quite as well. But when people run up against him, he can really stuff it up.
Now the wide receivers are to the right side on first down. Wilson steps up and throws, and it is complete. And that is Kenny King. King did an excellent job of getting away from the defender, Keith Butler, and getting some extra yardage down to the 15-yard line. King shows his versatility and his quickness right here.
As I mentioned before, since he's come out of Oklahoma, he's developed into a good receiver. Takes his eye off the ball a little bit, but manages to grab hold. And that's number 53, Keith Butler. Doesn't manage to bring him down.
Dave Brown ran him out. The ball is inside the 15. Second down and 4. Chandler set to the right side. Branch in the slot. Blitz is shown, and now an audible is called.
And they're calling the blitz off.
And Wilson in trouble. 20-yard line. Well, they called the blitz off, but Robert Hardy just came through and made a fine play. The fourth sack by Seattle.
Number 53, Keith Butler, was also in there on the play. What happened was that John Harris, the free safety, was going to come with the safety blitz. They called it off. He went back. There's number 71, Lindsey Mason, trying to block people, but he can't keep everybody out. As I mentioned before, 53, Keith Butler's the man who gets through.
A very big play for Oakland. Down 24-5. Third and 11. Wilson throws complete to Christensen. First down at the 7-yard line. Keith Butler, 53 on the tackle, along with Michael Jackson, the two outside linebackers converging.
There's Todd Christensen, who's the backup tight end, special teams player. You notice how he caught that football. He knew he was going to be in the middle of traffic, made sure he held on to the ball, got it, tucked it away. They're getting down in this situation. They really want to come away with a touchdown. Not only will they get back in the football game, but it will also give their quarterback some needed confidence.
7th catch of the season for Christensen. Kenny King to the 5.
Running head on to number 75, Robert Hardy.
Hardy's doing an excellent job up front, having a very fine year. Robert Heartburn Hardy, they call him. He'll give you a heartburn. He sticks that head in there. Second down and 5. The ball at the 5. The clock running with 3:05 to go.
Wilson is 14 of 24 for 142 yards. Touchdown.
Wilson's got it. You called it. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, I'm saying no because I thought it was a touchdown. And the official ruled, evidently official ruled he didn't control the ball enough because he caught the ball in the end zone.
Let's take a look at it again. It's Derek Ramsey all alone. The ball was thrown low, but
Free safety blitz. You have to have control of the football. Well,
I don't think he did.
Well, Jay,
it's a very tough call, but the ball was coming out.
I'm always on the side of the receiver, but I think he has control of the football. Look at that.
Gathered it in pretty good, didn't he?
Yep. That's a tough call. That's a tough call.
Third down. Wilson throwing complete this time. Derek Ramsey. There was no doubt about that one.
No doubt about that one. Coming back to redeem himself. He catches that football and pulls it into his chest. As I mentioned before, what this does is it gives Mark Wilson confidence. Throws the ball right in between the zone. Seattle at time choosing to play zone instead of man-to-man.
Ramsey just caught his third pass for 42 yards on the day, and Oakland has battled back in with 2:48 left in the third period. Chris Barr, Penn Stater. See Penn State, of course, in the Fiesta Bowl against USC. Blocked! Looked like Mike White, number 70.
Well, you don't see that too often. A blocked extra point. We'll see coming in the middle. There is number 70.
Mike White did the job. 2:48 left to play in the third quarter. 24-11, the Seahawks. Let's run down the scores that we have from around the National Football League. The Jets shutting out Baltimore. What a job New York's been doing. Pittsburgh shut out Los Angeles this afternoon in the Steel City. Cincinnati kept right on winning, and winning big, 41-21. St. Louis behind the youngster, Neil Lomax. Buffalo, a winner in a big game at Buffalo over Washington, 21-14. Tampa Bay came from behind to defeat New Orleans, 31-14. Green Bay upsetting Minnesota, 35-23. San Diego at halftime has a 17-point advantage over Denver. That game down in San Diego. Atlanta over Houston in the third quarter. Here is Barr kicking off. Coming up at the 12-yard line to handle it. Horace Ivory. Penalty marker goes down. Ivory is out near the 40-yard line. He was stopped by Mike Davis, number 36. The Giants in San Francisco are doing battle down in the Bay Area. And in the third quarter, San Francisco leading at 14-3. That'll bring you up to date on the action in the NFL. Here it is 24-11, the Seahawks. And we're going to have a penalty stepped off against Seattle.
Holding number 59.
Call goes against Rodell Thomas, who earlier got the touchdown on the fumble recovery. The Raiders down by 13 points. 24-11. The Seahawks first and 10 from their own 19. Largent in motion. The pitch back to Theodis Brown. And the play made by Big Dave Browning, number 73. Browning, who played at the University of Washington, and very intense, and playing back at the end position now.
Seattle again going with their two tight end offense, maybe going to the well once a little too often. Dave Browning coming in, he just shot through the gap, made the tackle.
Theodis Brown has 31 yards on 15 carries. Fine play by Browning. Second and 14. Largent comes to the near side. Sam McCullum is set left. Zorn using play action. The left-hander going down the far sideline. Incomplete. He was trying to get it to Mike Tice. Rod Martin did a nice job. The linebacker was out there one-on-one with him. And Martin, the fifth-year man from USC, a former San Francisco 49er, made a fine play.
49ers would love to have this guy back again. And as you mentioned before, he gets out there and he makes a good play because Mike Tice certainly has a height advantage. He's 6'7" tall. Seattle going with a 2 tight end offense, but I'm sure that at the halftime, the Raiders went in and they came up with some way to defend against that because Seattle had been so effective with it in the first half.
Zorn 11 of 20. Facing 3rd down and 14 from his own 15-yard line. A minute and 45 to go, 3rd quarter.
3 wide receivers in. Paul Johns, number 85, is flanked out to the left.
Zorn throwing and incomplete. Rod Martin on the coverage. Otis Brown got his feet tangled up. He went down. The pass appeared to be intended for him. He was the short man in the pattern. A lot of folks on that side may have felt it was pass interference.
Well, Rod Martin stepped on his heel, but it was unintentional.
Jeff West, this time punting from about the 3.
Are they going for the block?
They're all up there. He got it away. A very high kick. Ted Watts, fair catch, 47-yard line of Oakland, and the Raiders will have it there. Again, they have excellent field position. A minute and 35 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the Seahawks up 24-11. Basketball. Mr. Enberg and Mr. McGuire. UCLA and Notre Dame. UCLA upset by BYU on Friday night, but winners last night over Pepperdine. Notre Dame won their opener 82-52 over St. Joe's of Indiana. Digger Phelps has got a young club. Digger told me a couple of weeks ago, he said they'll be all right if I don't overcoach them. But that'll be next Saturday on NBC. There's Jack Patera. We mentioned he coached the fearsome foursome. Now I'm going to find out if my sidekick here remembers that group as Wilson throws wide and through the arms of Derek Ramsey. The fearsome foursome, the original fearsome foursome, coached by Jack Patera. Give me those names.
Well, now you have to remember that I played against the Rams and got beat by them a lot of times.
I didn't know you were that old.
How about
play
Deacon
against
Jones?
Deacon Jones.
Rosie Greer.
Rosie Greer.
Lamar Lundy. And none other than
Father Murphy.
Father Murphy himself. Merlin Olsen.
All right, 2nd and 10 at the 47-yard line. You get A for that one.
Wilson is 15 of 27 for 147 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception.
And on 2nd and 10, out it comes to Hawkins. Hawkins at the 45, the 50, and short of a first down as he got to the 47-yard line. Dave Brown pulled him down, number 22. Hawkins is a very impressive rookie out of Nevada, Reno. Born in Las Vegas, went to school in Reno.
We'll talk about another good young player. Look at Jacob Green, number 79. Certainly gotten his share of sacks. He has 8 this season. There you see him hustling across field. Plays over, decides to take a little rest.
3rd and 3. Chandler goes wide to the right, so does Branch. Jensen behind the quarterback with Whittington on the wing left. And penalty marker goes down. This might be a free ball. It was, because I think Seattle was offside. And one of the Seahawks, Ken Easley, the rookie, is shaken up. He's either got a cramp or twisted his ankle. You see those ankles are taped on the outside. And Easley, the number 1 draft pick, the All-American from UCLA. Let's watch we see it. Looked like he might have stepped on the back of Branch's foot there and just turned his foot. The AstroTurf toe.
Yep. I think that call went against number 70, Mike White. I think he got a little over-anxious, jumped too soon. There's Ken Easley going off to the sideline.
Little trouble for the Seahawks now in the secondary. The rookie Gregory Johnson at safety replacing Easley. Kerry Justin has replaced Keith Simpson. In the penalty department, Seattle 7 for 60 yards. Oakland has 4 for 20 yards. Again, a problem with the microphone of Gordon McCarter. Breaking in and out now, but it is 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. And we will see if Mark Wilson possibly can exploit the problems that the Seahawks are having in the secondary. The wide receiver set left. The pitch back coming to Kenny King. Kenny King going down to the 36-yard line. He is stopped there. Let's go to New York now and get an update from Bryant Gumbel.
86. All right, Jay, out in San Diego, the Chargers continue to play impressive ball against the Broncos. Craig Morton here intercepted by Woodrow Lowe. It remains 27-10. If the Chargers can hang on, there'll be a three-way tie for first in the AFC West. Jay?
All right, thank you, Bryant. Now you're going to be working in the mornings. We can play some golf in the afternoons. Hawkins gets it down to the 31-yard line. And Terry Beeson, number 58, makes the tackle as the gun sounds. And we're at the end of three quarters here at the Kingdome in Seattle. At the end of the third quarter, the score, the Seahawks 24, the Raiders 11. We'll be right back after this from your local station. The Seahawks give the Youth Football League youngsters an opportunity to play here indoors before their games. West Seattle and Rainier were involved in a game here today. We walked in. Gene Washington was noticed by one of the coaches of one of the teams. Fellow played against you back in college. Fred Hawkins. Hawkins battling to the 20-yard line for the Raiders. Hawkins stopped on the play by Ken Easley, who's back in there now at safety, being shaken up. Hawkins has 8 rushes for 31 yards. King 10 for 60.
Well, Jay, if the Raiders score right here, we're going to have some football game.
No question. It's a first down at the 20-yard line. Lots of time. Opening moment of the fourth period, and Fred Hawkins, or Frank Hawkins, excuse me, backpedaling his way to about the 16-yard line. Michael Jackson, 55, on the tackle. He's second down and 6. 24-11, the Seahawks. Tom Flores, 16 years as a player or coach in the Oakland organization. Played 6 years a quarterback for the Raiders, also Buffalo and Kansas City. Watching Wilson, and was he throwing or not? They're saying it's a live ball. Well, I want to look at that on replay. Tuiasosopo comes up with a football. Seattle's going to get it, but I question whether the arm was in motion or not.
Seattle has the football, that is for sure. I agree with you. This is a very questionable call.
Close call. Is he throwing?
Well, let's take a look. Oh, nope. Was not going forward.
All right.
The rule is that the quarterback's hand must be in the forward motion. Wilson brought the ball up, but it was not going forward. Good call.
Turnovers are always tough. We talked about them earlier. That gentleman right there saw this one very costly. Tom Flores. At the 24-yard line, first down for Seattle. Zorn at the controls. Theodis Brown across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Matt Millen and Johnny Robinson on the tackle.
Fumble.
And a fumble, and they're going to get it back. Let's go to Bryant Gumbel.
All right, Jay, the San Diego Chargers continue to gain a measure of revenge for an earlier 42-24 defeat at the hands of the Broncos. Fouts throwing a touchdown pass here. Chargers now lead 34-10. Jay?
All right, Brian, and right here, another turnover. And right back it comes to Seattle. At the 27-yard line. Oh, a couple of turnovers back-to-back. McClanahan coming away with a big play. Wide receiver set left. First and 10 at the 27-yard line. King trying to get outside is ridden down. A fine play made by Michael Jackson with some help from number 58, Terry Beeson.
Kenny King has a lot of speed, but so does 55 Michael Jackson. He's been in a lot of situations today. He's had a few missed tackles, got in a little altercation earlier. But as I said before, the coaches here are so high on this player. Big play type of guy, and they say that he should be all-pro this year.
King was 62 yards on 11 carries. Second down and 8. Wilson in trouble. Tuiasosopo on the sack. That
number 79, Bruce Davis, and beats him badly. You see Davis coming into your picture in the top of the screen in the middle. But Tuiasosopo used that great quickness he has, and that's why they moved him from defensive tackle out to defensive end to take advantage of the good speed that he has.
Justin at left corner, Brown at right corner, Easley and Harris the safeties. Beeson, White, Tuiasosopo, Hardy, Green, Jackson, and Butler on defense for these Seahawks. 3rd and 17. Wilson throws. Oh, what a fine catch! Derek Ramsey on a ball that was really very, very tough for him to catch in the seam. With the action coming at him, the 6'4" Ramsey went up and made a big play for a first down.
Mark Wilson has thrown the ball high all afternoon. Again, he throws the ball high, but look at that catch. Ramsey goes up and makes some reception, and I'll tell you, he is lucky that the defender, Kerry Justin, wasn't closer, because in that situation, the receiver is at the mercy of the defensive back.
1st and goal to go at the 8-yard line. The handoff to Jensen. Stopped cold by Terry Beeson.
Terry Beeson plugging it up in the middle again, doing what he does best, and that's stopping the run.
Raymond Chester comes into the game to replace Derek Ramsey. Chester, the 12-year veteran from Morgan State, number 88. Now at tight end. 2nd and goal to go at the 8-yard line. Bob Chandler goes wide to the right. In the backfield, Arthur Whittington, 22, Derek Jensen, 31. Wilson has time, throws, Chandler, but a penalty marker down. Now let's see if it's offensive or defensive pass interference.
You're right, because Chandler went inside, tried to come back outside, ran into the defender. But
they're going to call it on the defense. Chandler made a good move, but I thought for a moment he might have pushed out. Let's look at it.
If we get a look at this on the replay, this is a tough call, because Chandler, we can't see it here, but he goes inside, comes back outside, but he runs into the defender.
Bobby Chandler's clever. Watch right here. Well, you couldn't see it. We don't know who pushed who, but as I glanced down there, it was tough to tell. 18 of 30 for Wilson, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Here is Barr. Missed one a moment ago. This one is up out of the hold of Bobby Chandler. And with 11 minutes and 2 seconds left in this game, Seahawks 24, Raiders 18. It's heating up in the Kingdome. The Seahawks with a 6-point advantage. Gene Washington with Jay Randolph, and I'll tell you, we're going to the wire, I think.
Bobby Chandler coming up with a key reception for that touchdown. He may have pushed off, but the result is he got the touchdown.
Barr kicks off. And coming back upfield with it, Horace Ivory. And Ivory stumped as he got to the 15-yard line. A fine tackle made by Greg Braceland, number 54, on the specialty unit. And now what the Seahawks need is an opportunity to run the clock and contain the Oakland Raider defense a little bit.
The Raiders have not done well covering kickoffs. They were 26th in the league coming into this game, giving up an average of 24 yards per return. But in this situation, the Seahawks only got out to the 15.5-yard line. That could be a big factor.
Double tight end arrangement. And Zorn on first down, throwing, and a fine catch by Sam McCullum at the 23-yard line. Short of the first down. Monty Jackson, the cornerback, there on the coverage. McCullum, who played at Montana State.
What a reception he made. That was a nice piece of work. Zorn just drops back. This is a timing pattern. It's very difficult for the defensive back to do anything about it because the ball is thrown before the receiver makes his cut. McCullum going down, making his cut, coming back, and doing an outstanding job of keeping both feet in bounds.
McCullum was the MVP of the Seattle team last season. 2nd down and 2. Theodis Brown is back in, and he has the football, and he does not have the first down as he was cracked by big John Matuzak, number 72. Help in there from Ted Hendricks. Hendricks and Matuzak, we've discussed their abilities. They are a tough twosome over there.
There is a lot of height on that side of the line on the defensive left. The two-sack is 6'8". Hendricks is 6'7". It's tough for a quarterback when he looks to his right to be able to throw the ball over those guys, particularly when Ted Hendricks comes on the blitz.
Largent is out. McCullum is back in. McCullum comes in motion. The handoff goes to Theodis Brown, and he doesn't get there. They run right back at the strength again, and the folks here didn't like the call. Johnny Robinson doing the job, the young rookie middle linebacker, and it's punting time for Seattle.
Well, Johnny Robinson, making the center miss, gets over in the action. And as you said, they went right back to the same place. They're running right back. The biggest guy on the defensive line, but two-sack. Then you have Ted Hendricks over there.
Here they go. Penalty marker down. Penalty marker is down. They might call this one back. We'll wait and see. Downfield with it, Eric Lane. Now we'll wait and see if they call it back. Mentioned in the beginning of our telecast today that you're liable to see anything from Seattle. They may well bring this back. Injured on the play for the Seattle Seahawks, Ken Easley. He's back downfield. Well, wide open on the play was Lane.
The initial call is offsides against Seattle.
Jack Patera, he is upset.
They had the old lonesome in trick.
And boy, was he lonesome.
Standing over on the sidelines all by himself.
Largent wants to know what happened. He's trying to get an explanation. Now Ted Hendricks is after the official.
Wait a minute. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Seattle using illegal hideout play.
Illegal hideout play. Now, I haven't heard that term in a long, long time.
What that means is anyone who goes out and lines up outside must come within a certain distance of the huddle. I don't know exactly how close they have to get, but they have to be within, I think it's within 5 or 6 yards of the huddle. Then they can go back outside.
And Patera is having a discussion with one of the veteran officials on this crew. That's Jack Fetty. Fetty is the line judge.
And if you can read lips, you can tell exactly what he's saying.
Fetty is sure that he and his people are 100% right, and Patera seems very, very disturbed at this call. Boy, Big Jack is hot. So now, instead of the first down way downfield, Jeff West is going to have to punt this ball from his own end zone. After the penalty, back to the 10-yard line. West hangs it high. Ted Watts at the 48-yard line of Seattle. We have 9 minutes, 20 seconds to play. Seahawks leading 24-18. Raiders with the football. Gene Washington, we tried to get a little further clarification on the penalty, and I think possibly we understand the call, and we'll get to that in just a moment. It's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Handoff goes to Kenny King. And King fights for yardage down near the 43-yard line. Mike White made the tackle. King got clotheslined here a little bit by big number 70.
Mike White, he's done a good job playing at that defensive tackle position. But let's get back to that penalty situation. Evidently what happened was that there were 10 men on the field. One of the Seahawks started to run into the huddle and stopped outside. And if I'm correct, you have to leave from the huddle and then go outside. You can't just come from the sideline and stop.
2nd and 5. The throw to the tight end, Ramsey. And a first down at the 29-yard line. Dave Brown made the stop.
Number 84, Derek Ramsey, has been getting open all day long. He gets open this time over on the left side. gets in between the seams on the zone. And you see number 53, Keith Butler, giving chase, but that's been the big difference so far today with Ramsey coming up with some key receptions.
Ramsey, a quarterback at Kentucky. His former coach, Fran Kersey, sent packing this last week. Pitch back coming. Frank Hawkins. Tuiasa Sopo on the tackle. The gain is down to the 26-yard line. 24-18, the Seahawks. The Raiders trying to pull this one out. Hawkins now 44 yards on 10 carries.
The Raiders are not known for scoring a lot of points in the second half, but they're in great shape here. The young quarterback, Mark Wilson, coming up, trying to get his team into the end zone.
Second down and 7. King getting outside. Pulls over one man and gets down to the 18-yard line. Kerry Justin, who's playing for the injured Keith Simpson at left corner, made the tackle. It looks like a first down at the 18.
Kerry Justin playing out there for Keith Simpson has had some experience. As a matter of fact, he played an awful lot when Dave Brown was out injured, so he's not a newcomer out there.
King has 75 yards on 13 carries at the 18-yard line. First and 10 for the Raiders. Chandler and Branch set to the left side. We welcome those of you who've been watching the action in San Diego. You're watching Mark Wilson hold on and carry down to the 16-yard line where he stopped by Ken Easley of Seattle. This is Jay Randolph, along with Mr. Gene Washington here in the Kingdome with 6:20 left to play in this game. The Seahawks leading 24-18 over the Raiders. The Raiders facing second down and 8. They're at the Seattle 16-yard line. Mark Wilson, the quarterback. Wilson throwing down the middle and incomplete. He was going for the tight end, Derek Ramsey. Ramsey isolated with the linebacker, 55, Michael Jackson, did an excellent job. Again, we'd like to welcome those of you who are just joining us here in the Kingdome with Gene Washington, Jay Randolph, in a game that has watched the Oakland Raiders battle back. It's 24-18, Seattle leading. Wilson is 19 of 32 passing. The young man from nearby Bremerton, Washington, who played his high school ball in this area at Shorecrest. And here's a big play, Gene, for them, 3rd and 8.
Certainly is. The Raiders getting a safety and a missed field goal. That's how they end up with 18 points. As you said, this is the big play. Arthur Whittington getting on the sidelines and may score.
Whittington, touchdown! And the Oakland Raiders have come back. Seattle led at one point, 24-11 here in the second half. A 16-yard touchdown play.
Wilson doing a good job. Gets the ball out to Whittington. They have him in there because he's the best receiver of the running backs.
Whittington's second touchdown of the season. The 4-year man from SMU. Another view.
The Raiders back in the ball game, tied now 24-24 all. Should go ahead on this extra point. As I mentioned before, number 22 is the best receiver of the running backs. They want him in there in an obvious passing situation.
Chris Barr had an extra point blocked earlier. Chandler will hold. On the way. It is up and it is good. And with 5 minutes and 53 seconds left to play in this game, the Oakland Raiders have taken the lead 25-24. Whittington scoring his first touchdown passing, his second of the season. Barr kicking off. Oakland leading 25-24. Horace Ivory at the 9. At the 20. Ivory goes down at the 22-yard line. Penalty marker thrown in there as the tackle was made by Kenny Hill, number 48.
A little altercation down there with Mike Davis.
This has been a very hard-fought affair.
14 yards in the kickoff. Return for Horace Ivory.
There is the drive for the score. Let's go to New York and Bryant Gumbel.
Jay, in San Diego, the Denver Broncos' problems continue to mount, trailing 34-10 in the ball game. This George Roberts punt starts them off at the 1, and just now Craig Morton has been intercepted by the Charger defense once again. It's 34-10 San Diego in the 4th.
Thank you, Bryant.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 36, kicking team. Number 37, receiving team. After the play.
Unnecessary roughness on both sides after the play.
Eric Lane for Seattle. Mike Davis for Oakland. Somebody had to do it first.
You're right there, Mr. Washington.
Very costly situation, though, for Seattle on that safety. The punter stepped on the in line.
Jeff West was the man who caused the safety. I hope to show you that in a minute. There, Zorn's statistics, the left-hander, quarterbacking Seattle, 1st and 10 from the 23. All kinds of time. And the catch made by the tight end, Mike Tice, number 86. Matt Millen, 55, made the tackle with help from Ted Hendricks. Now, here's the difference in this ball game.
You can see that the punter has his foot on the in line. As a matter of fact, he's standing there before the ball is even snapped. The official sees it. He's going for his flag early because he knows that once that ball is snapped and he takes possession and he's standing on that in line, it's a safety.
Jack Patera a few moments ago very upset when his team tried a trick play out of punt formation that didn't work. Sherman Smith is now in the backfield, number 47, with Dan Dornick, 33. 2nd down and 1. And the handoff to Dornick, and he did not get the first down.
Johnny Robinson, the nose tackle.
Talked all afternoon about Robinson, and he is an impressive rookie.
He has done some job filling in for the injured Reggie Kinlaw, who went down before the season started. Very quick, and for a nose tackle, he's a guy that takes an awful lot of punishment. He's got 1 or 2 guys, usually 2 guys blocking on him all the time. But Robinson uses his quickness, and at that time he was able to elude the center, got in and stuffed it up.
3rd down and 1. And the call goes to Sherman Smith, and he's got the first down. Smith got near the 35-yard line. They're going to put it down at about the 34. Tackle made by John Matuzak, the 37th consecutive sellout for Seattle here in the Kingdome. And 57,147 showed up. They sold 64,757 tickets.
Seattle is going with 3 wide receivers. Number 85, Paul Johns, has come in. The Raiders are countering. They bring it in. Number 36, Mike Davis. You might look for a blitz in this situation.
1st and 10 from the 35, and Zorn rolling to stay away from any blitzing problems. The throw incomplete. Almost caught. Largent went up for it at the 46-yard line. Couldn't hold on. Monty Jackson there on the coverage. At halftime, it was Seahawks 10, Raiders 3. The Seahawks had a 24-11 lead at the end of 3 quarters. It is now 25-24, the Raiders. Largent today has been held in check for the most part. He's only caught 1 pass for 8 yards. He had 56 coming into today's game.
But give Monty Jackson credit because he knocked that ball away in the last time. Let's see if the Raiders come with the blitz.
They're showing it on 2nd and 10. And the throw is caught on the far sideline by Sherman Smith. Well, he beat the blitz. Zorn is down back at the 25-yard line. Zorn took a shot. Burgess Owens, the free safety on the tackle. Fine play by Sherman Smith, and Zorn really was racked.
Maybe his shoulder is hurting him, but the Raiders came with the blitz. They brought number 83, Ted Hendricks.
Oh, Zorn is in a lot of pain, and it appears to be the left shoulder.
He is really in pain.
Bruce Scott, along with Jim Weitzel, the trainers are out there. We have 3:20 left to play here in the Kingdome. A timeout with the score. The Raiders 25, the Seahawks 24. They're still attending to Jim Zorn, and they're working on the knee. He had grabbed his left shoulder, but apparently it is a knee problem. There is young Dave Craig. K-R-I-E-G, but pronounced Craig. And he'll be coming in. Let's watch and see if we can see what caused the problem for Jim Zorn.
And you see number 83, Ted Hendricks, coming on the blitz with Rod Martin. You can see just on the right side of your screen, I think it was Jeff Barnes who made the dive. He hit Zorn on the knee, and the problem with this AstroTurf is that if a player has his leg planted and gets a shot, it's not going to give as it would on grass, because those cleats get into that AstroTurf, the friction is so great, the only thing that gives, unfortunately, is the knee.
Zorn, 14 of 25, 239 yards. Last week, the Seahawks lost their fine middle linebacker, Joe Norman, a knee injury. And you see that now Zorn, who was in a good deal of pain moments ago, has apparently been relieved of that pain.
Let's take another look from a different angle and see if we can see what happened. You can see number 68. Oh, at 68, Johnny Robinson, the nose tackle. He dives over the center, Art Kuhn.
The pass was caught by Sherman Smith. And the fans here are giving a round of applause to one of their favorites, certainly, Jimmy Zorn. Zorn, who had some rough going early in the season, but with Otis Brown coming here and helping to establish the running game, he has played very, very well recently. They're coming to their feet here in the Kingdome as Jim Zorn is taken on. Dave Craig from Little Milton College in Wisconsin. I saw this young man play in preseason in a game here against the St. Louis Cardinals. He was very impressive. He is 7 out of 14 for 75 yards, 1 interception, been sacked 4 times. First and 10 at the 42. 3:10 left to play in the game. Raiders leading 25-24.
Will they blitz the young quarterback?
He throws and underthrows his intended receiver, Dornick, on the near side with coverage from the linebacker, 53, Rod Martin.
The Raiders, they brought number 83, Ted Hendricks. Mike Davis came from his strong safety spot. I think what they're going to do is, if Seattle's going to score here, they're going to have to earn it. They're going to put a lot of pressure on young Dave Craig. They're going to make him get rid of that football early and try to force a turnover.
The Seahawks, second down 10. Craig rolling to get rid of the blitz, but it is incomplete. The throw was not a good one, but Largent, very sharp, came back up. And Burgess Owen on the coverage.
The early indication that it appears to be a broken left leg for Jim Zorn, and that's bad news for these Seahawks.
Well, and we'll get a definite confirmation on that. We'd like to welcome all of you who've just joined us. The Seattle-Oakland game still in progress. Raiders leading 25-24. Third down and 10 at the 42-yard line. Jay Randolph along with Gene Washington. Craig throws, and there was action here on the sideline as the pass was intended for Largent. He ran into Monty Jackson. I want to remind you, NBC's Smurfs program will be seen immediately following the conclusion of NBC football coverage over most of these stations, except for most Mountain and Pacific time zone stations, where it will be seen at its regular time.
Well, Jay, I certainly agree with the philosophy that Oakland has. In this situation, you have a new quarterback come in. They're blitzing and they're bringing everybody. They're not going to allow him the luxury of getting back there and trying to read the defense.
He's down to 4th and 10 at the 42, 2:51 to go.
Lots of pressure on the defensive quarterbacks in this situation if they come with the blitz again.
They backed off a little bit. Craig throwing, and it is incomplete. The pass was intended for Sherman Smith. Rod Martin over there made a very big play, and he is happy about it.
A big play indeed, because when the football was thrown, his back was to the ball, and you'll see Hendricks comes in, but they drop the other linebacker's back. They leave Rod Martin in because he does cover the pass well. Look, he doesn't see the football, turns right at the last minute, almost comes up with an interception.
We'll be back at the Kingdome in just a moment. Raiders lead it by 1. The Raiders, the 4th best defense in the AFC, and Martin very happy about making the big play there. As we pause briefly for station identification, this is the NBC television network.
Oakland series starts at their
With
43.
Gene Washington, Jay Randolph at the Kingdome. 2 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in this game. The Raiders have come back to take a 25-24 lead after being down 24-11 in this game. And that is Frank Hawkins, the rookie from Nevada Reno. Kerry Justin playing for the injured Keith Simpson. Justin, 26, made the play with help from Jacob Green, number 79. We talked at the beginning of this telecast, Gene Washington, about the pride and poise of the defending world champion Oakland Raiders, as Seattle takes a timeout right now and stops the clock with 2:38 to play. And certainly it is in character to see the Raiders come back the way they did this afternoon.
Well, I said at the top of the show that this is a team that's not going to give up. They have not had a losing season since 1964, and they certainly don't plan to start a new string with this ball game. There's a young quarterback, Mark Wilson. They've gone all the way with him, and what this does for a young quarterback is that it builds his confidence.
Let's go back to New York now. Bryant Gumbel standing by with an update.
All right, Jay, in San Diego, the Chargers appear to be just putting the finishing touches on their defeat of Denver. This sack of Steve DeBerg just makes matters worse. It's 34-10 San Diego in the 4th. Jay?
All right, Brian, and of course, last week it was 55-21, San Diego over the Oakland Raiders. Hawkins with 49 yards, King with 75, and that's Hawkins breaking down over the 40.
Oh, loses the ball!
Lost the ball, and Bobby Chandler has it, and Chandler is all the way to the 11-yard line. Chandler running along in a foot race with Hawkins just a step in front of him, and it's a 41-yard play. You couldn't draw this up on the board, I don't think.
Everything went wrong for the Raiders in the first half. It went right to Seattle. In the second half, you can see the ball is popped loose. That's 55. Michael Jackson knocks the ball loose, but it goes right into the hands of Bob Chandler.
Seattle calls timeout with 2:15 remaining to be played.
You'll see number 55, Michael Jackson. He'll knock this football loose. Right there. Boom, knocks the ball loose. Bob Chandler's like it was a lateral. The ball comes right to him. Trying to outrun Dave Brown for the touchdown. Chandler's been the man who's been in the right place at the right time. Things seem to be going, well, not seem to be, they definitely are going the way of the Raiders here in the second half.
Chandler hurting a little bit. Let's remind you next Sunday on NBC, Bryant Gumbel will be along to host NFL 81, the doubleheader. New England at Miami. And, of course, Kansas City is at Denver. Buffalo takes on San Diego. You'll want to check your local listings for the game and times in your area. Next Sunday, NFL action on NBC. Gene, these two teams, of course, are not going anywhere. One might say, well, what happened to the Oakland Raiders? And you've been very close to their situation. We can talk about that, I think, over the next couple of minutes as we see Jensen bounce inside the 5-yard line down to the 3. Terry Justin on the tackle. I think, Gene, it's safe to say that this Oakland Raider club is a team in transition.
Well, that's certainly true. Whenever I look at a football team, I always look at the offensive line because that's where everything begins. You look at the Raiders, Gene Upshaw, Art Shell, two mainstays are no longer there, given away to younger players like number 60, Kurt Marsh.
All right, time now for one of our fantastic finishes. As you look at the Seagulls, we'll tell you that the executive producer of NBC's NFL Football is Don Ohlmeyer. Coordinating producer, Ted Nathanson. Today's telecast produced by Terry Ewert. Directed by Bucky Guntz. The associate director, Jim Marcioni. Thanks to all of our crew here in the Kingdome for a splendid job this afternoon bringing you the sights and sounds of the National Football League.
Well, it appears as though Seattle has let this one get away with that safety. Oakland is still alive, although the hopes aren't that good of getting to the playoffs. Statistically, I guess they still have a chance.
Derek Jensen gets near the 1-yard line, plowing straight ahead. Tough going. And did we have a fumble recovery in underneath there? The Seahawks are saying it should be their ball. This has been a rough and tumble affair. Boy, oh boy, Michael Jackson is hot once again, number 55 for the Seahawks.
I think they've ruled that it was a touchdown.
They did indeed. They ruled touchdown. I never saw one of the officials come up, but it is a touchdown for Derek Jensen. You see Jackson going off there, number 55. He has had a very tough day. The point after will come out of the hold of Bob Chandler with Chris Barr. And with 1:51 to play, the Raiders in command now, 32-24, coming up with a 21-point fourth period.
The thing that makes that so unusual is that Oakland has been one of the lowest scoring teams in the league in the second half. Let's take a look at Jensen as he goes in for the touchdown. Michael Jackson was obviously upset. He says that he never scored.
I can't tell.
It's tough to see. Well, Ray Chester scored. There he is in the middle of the action. We lost the vision. We couldn't see whether Derek Jensen got in there or not, but obviously the officials said he did, so it counts.
Well, to recap again, the Seahawks led 10-3 at halftime. At the end of 3 periods, Seattle with a 24-11 lead. But the Raiders have come back with 21 unanswered points here in the fourth period to lead at 32-24. And if Oakland wins it, they will be 6-7. Seattle will be 4-9, and will have lost, of course, the talented Jim Zorn for the remainder of the season. NBC's Smurfs program will be seen immediately following the conclusion of NBC's football coverage over most of these stations, except for most Mountain and Pacific time zone stations, where it will be seen at its regular time. Here's the kick coming downfield, and it is taken by Horace Ivory. He's at the 20 and out to the 24-yard line. Hit by number 54, Greg Braceland on the specialty unit for the Raiders. 1:46 remaining. The Raiders have 3 timeouts remaining. The Seahawks are out of timeouts. And that's the second-year free agent, Dave Craig, who has taken over at quarterback for Seattle. Jack Patera, fine head coach of the Seahawks, upset in the second half when a play out of punt formation was called unsportsmanlike conduct because he hit a player on the field. Craig throwing and completing to Sherman Smith. Smith is over the 30 to the 32-yard line. Ted Hendricks, number 83, the left linebacker, made the tackle.
Jim Zorn going out with that broken left leg. You hate to say something is good, but that's better than having a torn knee ligament. He can recover from that a lot easier than he can from having damage done to the knee.
This pass intended for Dan Dornick, incomplete. You see the clock shows 1:23 remaining. Next week, the Seahawks will meet the New York Jets here at 1 o'clock. The Jets shutting out Baltimore today. And the Raiders play the Steelers a week from tomorrow night in Oakland. Jack Patera in his 6th season at Seattle. His record will drop to 33-56. The games remaining for the Raiders and the Seahawks. David Hughes is now in the backfield replacing Dornick. Hughes number 46. Craig goes down.
Cedric Hartman putting the pressure on number 86.
And Johnny Robinson, the rookie linebacker, doing the rest.
The man we've talked about all game long.
That's the first sack of the afternoon, believe it or not, for the Oakland Raiders.
oftentimes pressures are as good as sacks. They certainly put the pressure on the quarterback a lot today.
4th and 6. The throw is complete for what appears to be a first down. Sherman Smith took it, was hit by Rod Martin, number 53. Clock running with 55 seconds remaining to be played.
The first half, Oakland appeared to be completely dead.
You got to say one thing. They came back very well indeed. Here's Dornick getting to the 44-yard line. Hit by Hendricks with 35 seconds remaining.
Oakland deciding to go all the way with their young quarterback, Mark Wilson. He did a fine job. He was a little high most of the game, but he got those completions when they needed them.
Here's the completion down the sideline. Largent is out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Burgess Owens ran him out. What a fine catch by Largent, only his second of the day, a 43-yard pickup.
Burgess Owens on the stop.
There's Dave Craig going back, and he's going to find Steve Largent. And as you mentioned, this is only his second reception of the day. Certainly below par for this excellent receiver.
Lester Hayes was trying for the interception there and just overran the play.
Not only was he trying for the interception, he wanted a touchdown.
Indeed. Oh, the ball is at the 12.
First and 10.
We look at it again.
You can see Lester Hayes sees nothing in front of him but real estate, and he's going for the touchdown. He knows they've gotten the game won.
Mark Wilson went all the way for the Raiders today. Dave Craig now playing out there for the injured Jim Zorn. Craig, and incomplete. It looked like the intended receiver, Sam McCullum, was held up, but there's no flag.
Coming all the way across the field, Mike Davis, who missed most of the season with an injury, covering McCullum, went for the football, grabbed him around the neck a little bit, but the officials are going to rule that if the receiver has no chance to catch the football, there's no interference.
After the 13th week of the season last year, the Raiders were 9-4, and of course they went on to win Super Bowl 15, 27-10 over Philadelphia, after defeating San Diego, Cleveland, and Houston in the playoffs. 2nd and 10 at the 11-yard line for Seattle. Craig throwing, and touchdown!
On the blitz, that leaves the quarterbacks out there all by themselves. Lester Hayes dives, but Largent comes up with the reception, his third reception, first TD in this game. Excellent pass, good route. Lester Hayes just can't get there.
And Seattle fans will hearken back again to that safety in the third period, charged against the punter, Jeff West.
Not only that safety, but that fake punt situation was a big play.
This is Wilson Alvarez, who's taken over for the injured Efren Herrera, booting the point after. And 32-31, the Raiders with 8 seconds remaining, and we can anticipate the onside kick. Seattle is out of timeouts. The Raiders have 3.
Well, it is possible to kick off, have the opposing team not recover once it passed 10 yards. The Seattle's could then, if they touch the ball, I guess they could pick it up and advance it. So there is a chance that they could get the ball and score, even with the 8 seconds. Slight chance.
Yeah. Well, you know yourself, as much as you played over the years, when there's still time on the clock, you're in business.
I will never forget the playoffs in San Francisco against Dallas. We were beating them. A minute and a half to go, a young guy named Roger Staubach comes into the ball game. They go down the field and score. There's about 30 seconds to go on the clock. They kick an onside kick, get the ball back, and score again. Knock us out of the playoffs.
Boy, oh boy, what a way to go. Well, it's been a pleasure working with you this afternoon. Quite a comeback for the Oakland Raiders. They're a classy bunch, even though they've had a very rugged year. And the Seahawks are an improving club. Certainly, we have seen that they play much better with being able to establish that running game as they did here in the first half today. And they had a lot of things going for them.
Otis Brown has meant so much to this team with this great running ability. They're lining up for that onside kick, and they have everyone on the far side of the field. The Raiders have their best offensive people over there trying to catch it. Oh, and he makes a mistake and gets the ball up in the air.
And it was taken by Christensen at the 49-yard line. And matters now are rather academic with 8 seconds remaining.
Well, they had no chance at all once he got the ball up in the air. Todd Christensen had an easy catch. What the kicker wants to do is try to get that ball to bounce a couple of times on the ground and then pop up in the air and give his receivers a chance to get down underneath it.
If you're just joining us, at the end of 3 quarters, the Seahawks held a 24-11 edge. It is now 32-31 Raiders, 8 seconds remaining. Oakland's going to win number 6 against 7 defeats. Seattle will be 4-9. Mark Wilson, the young man from Bremerton, Washington.